Hey everyone, so I thought I'd do a real short video on crochet hooks because someone asked me which crochet hooks I liked best. So that question is not easily answered, and as you can see, I have a plethora of crochet hooks that I have tried. Some I like, some I don't like. First and foremost, I don't have any cartilage in my hands right here. This is known as basal thumb arthritis. I have zero cartilage. I don't know if you can tell how much bigger this thumb is than the other one. I have what's known, I think this is interphalangeal arthritis. So, that being said, I am a knife holder. So in other words, I hold my crochet hook like this. There are a lot of people that are pencil holders that hold it like this. I've tried that. That is just so strange to me because I didn't learn that way. So, here are the various crochet hooks I have. This is a boy hook. So this is just a boy hook. Probably got it at Walmart. I like these rubber grips because the hook doesn't slip out of your hand. So I will tell you, for worsted weight yarn, my go-to hooks are, this one is, this is also a boy hook. And it's by something called the Crochet Dude, which I think is cute. Okay, so for worsted weight, I use a 5.0 millimeter, or I think this is a 5.5, or does it say? Yes, 5.5. These are my two go-to hooks for worsted weight. Okay, I use those all the time. Now, these are not the furls hooks, so a lot of people hear about furls and they're horribly expensive. They're something crazy like $75 a piece. So there are people on Etsy that make them, and I ordered these from somebody on Etsy, and I think they're about $22 to $25 each. But guess what? I don't like them. I know this sounds crazy. A lot of people love these. I just don't care for, they just don't move to me, and maybe it's just the way that I crochet, because this is all so subjective, right? Everybody holds their yarn differently, everybody holds their hook differently, everybody crochets a little differently, and what works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. All right, I'll demonstrate. So this is an eye hook, and this is also an eye hook, okay? So, I just have this cotton, I think it's acrylic cotton yarn. And I hold my yarn like this. Well, depending on the yarn, sometimes I wrap it. And I see a lot of people that do this weird stuff, like they hold it and they wrap it this way. You know, however you learn is how you learn, and you can't really change that very much. All right, I'm going to try to, I'll just make a chain here. So it moves okay, but to me, it's just not that great. So let me get this hook, okay? See, this just moves through the yarn a lot more smoothly. And I know I'm going a little bit fast, but I'm going at the speed I would ordinarily go if I was crocheting. Whoops. Sorry, this cotton yarn is a little bit splitty. So it's just really smooth. And this, to me, this just doesn't move through the yarn. It's the same way with knitting needles, depending on the material that the needles are made from. In other words, whether they're aluminum or they're wood or they're bamboo or, you know, some kind of metal, and what kind of yarn you're using. So it's really all dependent also upon the yarn. But I just really don't care for these hooks. The reason why I originally bought this large one, which is an L, okay, which is also, well, this is actually an N, but they're similar sizes. And this is also an L. So, this hook that works really well in worsted weight, for me, does not work really well with the Bernat blanket. Okay, and I'll show you why. Get all these out of the way. Also, for me, plastic hooks, they don't have as much, the yarn doesn't slide as well, so I don't care for those because I like to go really fast. All right. Let me try to get this over here. This is a blanket that I'm making. Okay, so when you're dealing with this big bulky yarn, all right, and so I'm going in these chain spaces. See, when I go in here, by the time I go in here and I'm trying to grab this yarn, I don't have enough hook because now I don't like it. Okay, I'm going here. This is not too bad, but still, I like to be able to have the freedom to go in here and not just have this short little hook. So in this instance, I just use a plain old aluminum boy hook. This is an N. All right, 9mm. Okay. And see now how I can seem to be able to go a lot faster, because now I can put this, see, if I want to put it all the way through the yarn here and grab the yarn, I can do that. Okay, whereas the other one doesn't give me the freedom to do that. And really it's only an issue with this Bernat blanket, the super bulky. So for that one, I prefer that particular hook. I don't care for this one. And let me show you this one. Just, you saw me work with this hook. So this is the one I bought thinking it was the bomb, and this is the hook I'll always use, and this will be good for my hands. Okay. See how it doesn't want to grab the yarn. See? I don't know why. It's the way has something to do with the way the angle of the hook is carved or something, but I have a hard time grabbing the yarn. I can't grab it as easily. See? And I'm really not trying to do that, but it just has, see how it has very little space right here, okay, to grab the yarn. Whereas if you look at this hook, and you see there's a lot more space right here underneath it to grab the yarn. So you can try these hooks. You know, like I said, they sell them on Etsy for about $20 a piece versus whatever you pay at Furls, $75 or something crazy like that. I don't have that kind of budget. Crochet hooks are all different in how sharp the head is. So allowing you, in other words, to go, poke it into the yarn depending on what kind of yarn you're using. This is the same exact hook, and there just really isn't a lot of space right in here compared to this one. I just like these better. So these may be way different from Furls as far as, how the hooks are designed on the end, but this is real similar. And you can even find hooks that have this kind of turned end on them at Hobby Lobby, but they're made out of some type of resin or type of acrylic. They're painted, so they're different colors. They might be red or blue or yellow. So if you want to try a hook of this type, in other words, with this type of handle, I would go to Hobby Lobby if you're near one and get one for $4 or $5, whatever they are. They are $5 or $6 before you spend the money, because you may not like the end of the hooks. And unfortunately, you don't really know that until you buy them. It's the same thing with knitting needles. You don't know how well they're going to work, and you don't know how they'll work with the yarn you have. So you'll want a different hook for this yarn versus worsted weight. You'll want a different hook for cotton blend yarn than you will for acrylic or wool or alpaca. So, unfortunately, it's just a matter of trial and error for the most part. And see what you like. But that's what I like. I just like the standard boy hooks. I love the rubber grips. I usually don't have any trouble with my hands hurting, but I also don't knit or crochet for hours and hours at a time. I might knit or crochet for an hour or two, and then I'll go do something else. So if you want to keep your hands from hurting, the best thing to do is just, not have them, and don't grip really hard. Just grip nice and light. If you have a bunch of these types of crochet hooks, and your hands bother you like me and this is kind of too small to grip, just put in to YouTube DIY crochet hook grip, and there are people all over that have all different ideas. Like I said, there's the pencil grip, there's the loom bands, which I kind of like. This is makes for kind of a nice grip. And nice thing about this is I can move it up or down depending on, which you can do with the pencil grips also, depending on what I'm doing at the time. So usually I prefer these rubber grips. They're just really nice and handle really nicely. So that's my review on crochet hooks. Thanks for watching.